talk to you about sugar and how the overconsumption of sugar is poisonous to our bodies. So how many of you would consider yourselves to have a sweet tooth? I know that I am guilty of enjoying some chocolate every now and again, and chocolate can be a real stress reliever. After a long day, coming home and indulging in some chocolate is sometimes all you need. We're surrounded by candy all the time. We've really become so desensitized to it. We're constantly tempted by the colorful packaging and the fun-looking commercials with the overly happy couples eating a Snickers bar. But if I asked how many of you actually look on the back of the candy bar at the nutrition facts, how many would say they would? Some of you might, but for the most part, when we're in the mood for something sweet, we don't really care about the nutrition facts. We associate sugar and candy with good feelings, but hopefully after the information I'm going to give you today, it will have you thinking twice before running to the candy counter. So I first just want to show you guys how much sugar is in the candy we all know and love. Let's start off with a milk chocolate bar. This has 5.75 teaspoons of sugar in just this one bar. And a Snickers bar, it has 7 teaspoons of sugar. My personal favorite, the Milky Way, has a whopping 8 teaspoons of sugar. I know it's hard to imagine this when we just pick up the bar and read on the back of the label, but hopefully these visual aids will help you a little bit. So today when I talk about sugar, I just want to give you guys a little disclaimer, and that is that sugar is a vital substance to our body. We need it to survive. It's just the fact that when we overconsume sugar, that's when we can get ourselves into trouble. So one of the first things that people think when I say overconsumption of sugar is probably diabetes. Diabetes is a metabolic disease that leaves the body unable to produce enough insulin, therefore causing elevated levels of glucose in the blood. And I want to discuss some myths with you guys that even I thought before doing further research. So to start off, it's untrue that consuming too much sugar is the only way to get diabetes. Diabetes is a disease that can be caused by genetic factors and unknown factors that doctors still don't know about to this day. However, lifestyle choices do play an important role. Eating too much sugar will always make you gain weight. Sugar will raise blood glucose levels and add hundreds of calories to your diet very quickly. Studies show that people who drink 1 or more soft drinks a week, compared to a person who only drinks 1 a week, they double their risk of getting type 2 diabetes. The second myth that's important to know about diabetes is that people with diabetes can't eat sweets at all. This is untrue because, like I mentioned earlier, everything is okay in moderation, and if you have the right amount of exercise. So the next thing I want to discuss is a study done at Princeton University. The researchers fed rats a high sugar diet. When they took the sugar away, they were shocked at the results. They found out that the rats actually reacted to the lack of sugar much like a drug addict would react to being weaned off drugs. The rats were shaking and their teeth were chattering. A similar study was done at the Wisconsin School of Medicine. They found that when rats were introduced to sweets, they would eat the sweets 6 times more than they would eat regular food. And the same goes for people. When we eat sweet things, the chemical serotonin is released in our brain. This leaves the person feeling calmer and in a better mood. So of course we're going to eat more of those foods, right? Other than having this wonderful feeling being released in our brains, sugar can actually fog our brains for thinking. Researchers from the University of California found that sugar can actually block some communication signals between nerve cells. After finding this out, I'm really beating myself up for eating those candy bars before a big exam so I could give myself more energy. I had no idea that sugar could have such a negative effect on our brains. I know that I've kind of touched on sugar's effect on our physical appearance, but I bet you wouldn't think that sugar can actually cause premature wrinkles. Sugar actually has the same effect on our skin as UV rays in cigarettes. So how does this happen, you ask? Well, when our skin produces collagen and elastin breakdown from the sun, our skin can repair itself. But when sugar moves through our skin, it can cause amino acids to form crosslinks. These links can clog the repair mechanism, therefore causing premature wrinkles. Sugar could actually have an even worse effect on your insides. Researchers have found that eating a lot of sugar can increase the stress and strain on your body, therefore causing premature aging and even cancer. And really, if you think about it, something that can be that addictive and bad for your skin must have an effect on your organs. Now, sugar could clearly mess with our liver, and that's because that's where we store and produce our sugar. But other than the obvious organs, it can also have an effect on our heart and can actually increase our chances of getting cancer, like I mentioned before. The reason for this is because sugar feeds our cells, even the cancerous ones. Cancer patients are usually put on a strict low sugar diet just because the doctors are nervous that too much sugar can speed up the growth of the cancer. Okay, so let's recap. The things that I talked about today. I showed you all just how much sugar is in the candy that we all know and love, and I think it's really important for people to visualize how much sugar we're actually consuming. I know that when I read on the back of a candy bar, I always think, well, that's not that much. But when you see it in a different way, we realize how much sugar we're actually putting into our bodies. Next, I discussed with you the ever-growing problem that is diabetes. We debunked some myths about diabetes, and I told you the real causes of the disease. Diabetes has been at an all-time high since 1980, increasing a whopping 176%. Hopefully, precautions will be taken in the near future to inform people about the risks of sugar. So then after talking about diabetes, we took a look at just how much a negative effect sugar has on our bodies. It wreaks havoc on our brain, making it really hard to think clearly. It can also make a huge impact on causing premature aging and wrinkles, and it makes us at a high risk of getting cancer. So I hope that you all have come to the conclusion that sugar is poisonous. It doesn't make any sense to me that if we have regulations on tobacco use and not sugar, when they're equally as harmful to our bodies. I hope that in the future, laws or programs will be in place that limit the amount of sugar in our foods, or they can give people the tools to decipher just how much sugar they're actually consuming. If we can get this problem under control, then we're going to be one step closer to becoming a healthier nation. I hope that all of you learned something today, and will remember these facts the next time the next time you find yourself craving a pop or candy. So at this time, if you guys have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to ask. If not, thank you very much.
Yay!